This movie did come out 18 years ago. I looked it up. Or
18?
seven.
No, 19.
It was 2008, no?
18.
Oh, I was like, did I put 2025 in the calculator when I did that?
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe I did. No,
No, wait, hold on.
I
2026 minus 2008 is 18.
yeah,
Okay, I'm glad we got all of that on
yeah.
recorded.
I'm Proma,
I'm Radhika,
and
and
together
together
we're
we're
PromRad.
Red. We are gathered here today to celebrate the 18th anniversary of one of our favorite movies, 27 Dresses. I don't think anyone thought those were the words that were going to come out of my mouth, but here we are. It is a classic and we stand by it.
Yes, the premise of this episode is that we love this movie. There's no timely peg. We're not reviewing it per se.
The timely peg is 18 years. It's a full adult now.
Yeah, still can't go to a bar and sing Benny and the Jets, but we can do the 21st. Radhika and I have a standing event in our calendar that is just Kevin Doyle. It's an all-day event on a Saturday, every Saturday, repeating
It's
forever.
been Malcolm Doyle this whole time. Like, did we mess up?
Because he writes Kevin Doyle in the file of facts.
Oh, true, true, true. But
Yeah.
Malcolm Doyle's his pen name, and it was in our calendars because we were like, this is our writing time.
Oh, I think I just did that as a joke.
And I'm
I,
pretty
I
sure,
thought we watched the movie and I was like, this
do
is
we just have different memories of this? I thought it was like, oh, we're holding time. Oh, maybe not.
all day, every Saturday, forever.
You know, maybe I
No,
just
I
like
was
wanted to ascribe meaning to it.
the last time we watched it together, or maybe the time before that, one of the many times we watched this together, I remember being like, this is a good prank. Because I don't understand how
Oh.
pranks work. Um,
And here I am being like, how wholesome we like put aside writing time together.
no, I just wanted to take over your calendar every Saturday forever. This movie is an absolute masterpiece, romantic comedy. It is written by Aline Brosh McKenna. It was directed by Anne Fletcher. It stars Katherine Heigl, James Marsden, Judy Greer, Malin Ackerman, the guy who plays George, Edward Burns.
So, what is this movie about that we love so much? 27 Dresses refers to the 27 bridesmaid dresses that our main character, Jane, played by Katherine Heigl, wears because she is perpetually a bridesmaid and never a bride. And that is like kind of the thesis of this story.
She loves weddings, she loves marriage, the idea of it all, which is why she loves helping people get there or being there for them on their special day. And the overarching theme that comes through is that she's like, well, I will do it for them because one day they'll do it for me.
She's romanticized by the idea of a wedding. She's one of those girls who knows what her wedding dress is going to look like. She knows where she wants to get married. Like, crucially, it's like what her mom did. Um, and so she is, yeah, she is just like waiting to meet the person. And along comes our boy, James Marsden. Um, he is a journalist working at the local newspaper. I don't know if they named the newspaper or
The New
whatever.
York Journal.
He's working at the Journal and he is writing the commitments column, which is the, weekly vows covering local weddings. Crucially, the column that Jane is literally obsessed with and clipping every week. But he fucking hates his job and is like desperately trying to elevate out of writing this column. And then he comes across Jane and realizes that she is a great story because she's
Yes.
got 27 bridesmaid dresses in her New York City closet.
And then separately, Jane works at, it's not totally clear what she does, some sort of advertising marketing type job.
She's an
Um,
assistant to a CEO.
she has
I
been
don't
an
know.
executive
Yeah.
assistant for, I think, way too long, and even she knows it, but that's because she is in love with her boss, George. Madly in love or infatuated with the idea of him, or he's just a cute straight man who's nearby. Could be many things, but that all goes so, so south when he meets her sister, Tess, and they fall immediately in love, except that Tess is lying about pretty much everything that she and George have in common. And then Jane has to stand there and just like live. I don't think Waking Nightmare is accurate, but like live through hell while this courtship is going on and then plan her sister's wedding to the man she thinks is the love of her life.
Within 3 weeks, stealing every dream that Jane has ever had about her wedding. Hurricane Tess, man. I think we should start by explaining why this movie is so important to us. And
Why is that?
Well, I will speak for, I guess I won't speak for you. I will speak for myself only. I will only
Okay.
speak for Rad of PromRad. I think it is, when this came out, we were in high school and I had never been to a wedding. I was never a bridesmaid. Like none of those types of things were relatable to me. But I think the feeling of Jane being the friend, but never the one that was chosen romantically. Or, she's always there, she's reliable, but no one ever thinks of her as more than someone that can just help or whatever. And like, again, I can't relate to every beat of that, but I think just that feeling I connected with. And I was like, I think I am a Jane in some parts of my life. And then truly, as I have watched this movie over the past 18 years, I have been a bridesmaid so many times and love doing it. I am so happy for all of my friends. I want to be there standing next to them, but like I can't lie that sometimes I'm like, when will it be my turn? When will I meet the person that like these people are going to stand up next to me for? So I think as I get older, this movie just feels more and more like relevant to my life, unfortunately. And then I don't know, I love James Marsden, so that also helps.
Yes, I still love rom-coms, but early 2000s was a peak, a golden era for rom-coms and this type of rom-com. A lot of movies were coming out at the time about women who were just like obsessed with marriage since a very young age, which I guess like of the time, and some women are and do actually know that kind of stuff of like the fabric they want their dress to be and the location and all of that. Not something I identified with at the time or now. So I saw the movie because it was just like that's like what my mom and I would do was like, watch all these kinds of movies. And I love James Marsden from X-Men. It was such a novelty then to see him in a movie where he could like show his eyes and his whole face. We all-time fumble is that man covering his face in many, many successful movies. But I digress. Uh yes, to your point, I think why it stuck with us so well is that at every different stage of life, like every few years when we rewatch this, it hits in a different way, or there's like another thing I notice. The fact that Jane does say explicitly, I'm gonna do it for all of them because one day they'll do it for me, I think is something that a lot of women in particular grow up thinking, and something that I kind of just threw out a few years ago because I was like, it's not guaranteed anymore, and I'm not gonna go into these situations offering my help or my attendance or my money or whatever because in a transactional way that like, oh, now it's your turn and one day it'll be my turn because that's not guaranteed. Like now I'm like, okay, do I really want to be a bridesmaid, go to the bachelorette, whatever, be like right now in this moment?
For sure. I think the deeper sentiment behind the like one day they'll do it for me is the female friendship that I think is it's not the most explicit in this movie because we don't see Jane with her friends that often other than Judy Greer's character
Which
who's
is weird because she
incredible.
ostensibly has like 27 close
Close.
friends. But also some of these people are just like willy-nilly with their bridesmaid assignments. Like Kristen Ritter's character is her coworker and was like, be my bridesmaid. And then Tess was like, can Judy Greer be my bridesmaid? Do you know each other at all?
Well, that is a plot of Tess just not having girlfriends, so like that tracks. But I liked that she is ostensibly a good friend and is there for these people. And I agree with you about the transactional part of it because I'm like, that isn't the mindset that I'm going into it with, but it is more so like these are my close people and like, I want to celebrate their stuff and I hope that one day they'll be able to celebrate my stuff.
And I think that's an evolution we've both had over the years is like it's not going to be one to one. It's not going to be you came to my wedding, I'm going to your wedding. It's going to be something else. And
Yeah.
you need to be ready for that.
Yeah. And you need to acknowledge what those things might be because for example, like this podcast is something that I want people to celebrate that we're doing, or just professional achievements, because as of now, you and I haven't had those milestones in our personal life. And not everyone acknowledges that there are other achievements in life other than getting married and having children.
And even for friends
And
who have had that, I've seen like I mean, I have friends who have gone and like gotten into residency, like graduated with honors, like done all these amazing things, and people just like don't actually care until they've gotten married, and then they're like, congratulations.
yeah, and I don't like that. So I don't think that that's what the movie is. Like I am choosing to read it as a celebration of female friendship and all of that. But I do think
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, we've both read it over the years as like as our lives evolve, we're getting kind of more deeper of a meaning of
Yeah.
what
That
it
part just like stung a little more this time. I was like, ooh, I was like, Janie, that's not, I mean, good for you. She's also probably like 26.
That's true. Yeah, we don't know actually. So as I was watching it this time, I was curious what you thought of about her obsession with the wedding specifically, because there is a point when Marsden's character Kevin kind of tells her like, I think you just really want a wedding and you don't actually want a marriage. And I he's not wrong. He kind of read her.
I think she's kind of maybe it's type A because the thing is like in her job too, like she's an executive ex assistant. She's organizing and planning stuff. She's good at logistics. She's good at, go to this place, talk to this person, that type of stuff, which is very much what she took on when she's planning her friends' weddings. Like watching it this time, I'm like, oh, you should have been a wedding planner if you love this so much, if you want to be surrounded by this. But she stuck around the other job for George. Maybe that's her next
I
job.
was gonna say maybe she will because she quits at the end of the movie, so we don't know what happens after that.
I think it's like kind of a premise of the time, or again, like a thing that young women are often taught to do since a young age. I saw this photo just a few weeks ago of like a toddler, like a little girl looking into a mall wedding display of a wedding dress. And it was like, it was a beautiful photo, and people were just like, well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it was still like, I mean, credit to the script and the performance here, where I even now didn't get like cheesed out by Jane's obsession with weddings and the way that she talks about the not matrimonials. The way
Commitments.
the commitment matrimonials is the ads they put out in the Indian paper.
Yes. It's like that's the bio datas.
Seeking wife with wheatish complexion. Yeah, I don't know. I every time I watch it, I'm still kind of in her corner on that because I guess she does have other things going on in her life, but
And I don't want to be like, oh, she shouldn't want to find a partner and find love. And I think at the core of it, I'm like, he reads her, but also then she talks about her favorite part of the wedding is when he looks back at her, and it's all about wanting to feel seen by the person that, you're committing your life to. And so it's like there are parts of it where I'm like, I wonder what she thinks a good marriage and relationship looks like because we don't ever
yeah,
get
we don't know
that.
anything about her past. We know about his past, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I also like that he's not just like a cynic for the sake of it, for like having this romantic or yeah, like romantic female character who loves weddings and then this like cynical male character who doesn't. Like that is a very reductive read of this movie, but also very much kind of a popular structure at the time. Like no, he's been through something. He probably felt the way she did and was romantic at some point because he fully married his wife, but it didn't work out. And so now he has had to, as I personally can relate, take on the cynic persona as a kind of armor against getting hurt.
In some ways, I think you're Kevin and I'm Jane. I'm like, I'm still hopeless romantic in some ways, even though I should be cynical for a
You
lot
know
of.
what's scary because it's been like so, it's so in, there's so much Kevin. There's so much Kevin to break through. It's the sand in the microchip from Parks and Rec. It's just like fries my system.
Yeah.
This is an offline convo
Yeah, yeah.
about
I'm like, we're
becoming
getting very
soft.
personal.
I know. Structurally, I want to note that this time watching the movie, it really felt like pacing wise, it's three different movies kind of. Because there's a first chunk, which is, introducing Jane and all of the stuff, and you meet Kevin, and then Kevin's gone for like 30 minutes.
Mm.
And the Tess and George shit show is playing out. And then when Kevin came back in, I was like, oh, good. Now it's gonna get fun again. Benny and the Jets, all of that.
Yeah.
And then that went on for like half an hour. And the next scene that George was in, I was like, oh, this guy.
I didn't like it didn't distract or bother me really.
I actually do think that that's good because it feels you get very immersed in each plot line as it goes versus having to follow too much, juggle it at once.
And I think when we're introduced to Kevin, I don't know, I almost feel like little bits of him are better and they dole it out in a way that I feel like it really packs a punch when he is there and saying his little snide remarks and writing in her file of facts and all that. Like I kind of like that they held back on him a little bit until Benny and the Just and all that, and then we're falling in love with him too, you
Yeah.
know?
I also like that he has other motives. He's not just like romantic hero, which could be read as a creep over time. Like, she very much has that reaction. She's like, "Why are you pursuing me?" Also, because she's obsessed with George. But like, he's doing it because A, I think knows he's an attractive man and he can coast on charm. But he wants to get close to her because he's pursuing this story.
The professional part of it is interesting, yeah, because it shows his ambition and his kind of conniving nature.
Yeah.
But then at the end, when he doesn't want that story to go live because Like I think it's a really good vehicle for showing his feelings of being
Yeah.
like, oh no, that's not ready. I'm not ready for that to happen yet.
A rare instance in media of the male journalist sleeping with his source and being unethical, and not the other way around. I was
Topical.
gonna say men in female fields, but that's actually not that edgy.
That's like not a thing. There is no such thing.
Wait, I need to quickly touch upon Kevin's coworker, Maulik Pancholi playing just they're trying to make him play this aggressively straight man. But always great to see a brown brother in any type of role. But this movie is so white. Like, and it's 2008, of course it is, but like some of the scenes I was watching, I was looking at the background people, I was like, every single person is lily white. So
Even
good.
at the Indian wedding, there was like three Indian people in that.
Yeah. Also, at the time, the Indian wedding was like that was representation for us, so we were delighted by it. And then Maulik Pancholi, I mean, congrats to him for getting that role in the first place when the casting cards were so overwhelmingly stacked against him.
For real. But yeah, extremely aggressively straight in this. The lines don't land in a way. I'm like,
Which is
maybe let's
interesting.
rethink
I
that.
think it's because we don't know him as well. Like we get to know Judy Greer. Like she's our friend too, even despite the fact that I don't know her character's name.
Yeah.
If I heard it, I'd know it. But she gets away with a lot of stuff too, but it works for her. It's also like also Judy Greer again, like she has put in the time in this field.
Hmm. Yeah, she's resident best friend for all
Yeah.
of us.
Name
Um,
is
what
Casey.
was
I had to read it and then I was like, yes, it's that. Okay, I love this opening sequence. The music, I love a montage all the time. I'm just trash for it. Also, I
it?
do love weddings. I was
Yeah.
watching this and I'm still like, like I was born to do this, to go back and forth between two weddings in one night. I've had to do it in like, like a couple weekends in a row or close together, but this is when the training kicks in.
I think we both could do it. It's the problem is that none of our friends get married in the same location ever.
Yes.
And so we could not physically do it
It's
because we'd have to get on a flight to get to the other one.
all these people are just having like Manhattan, Brooklyn weddings, or like this was more of a thing back then, or maybe just more of a common thing than has been our experience where people get married like where they live. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Now everything is like you go back to the hometown or a destination or whatever. I do think logistically, she should have just picked like a hairdo and accessories that went with both outfits.
100%.
She
But I
kept
kind
doing
of
that
like,
updo again.
I kind of, the ambition. I appreciate it.
That's true.
But
She is a pro. And that drive from Manhattan to Brooklyn is not, it's long. You got time
it's
to do
long.
your hair.
It's long. But also the fact that she was like tying a sari multiple times or whatever was happening, or a lenga, whatever she was doing.
Okay, that outfit, I can't, it's so bad. And it says, you look at it, and my first thought, unfortunately, because I still have this brain rot in my head, was like, oh, this is only a few years after Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
I was
So
gonna say I
people
think
were
it's better than those outfits though.
just about because it's bright, but like, what was with the pink and orange? Why was
Yeah.
everyone like, Indian people love pink and orange and a chania choli, like, if that's what it was?
I mean, yeah, I think it's the bright colors. They're just like leaning into that because you don't do that in like other
Yeah.
cultures, I guess. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know, whatever. It was brief enough. I did like the bit of the cab driver and then him coming back like later and being pissed that it was only one wedding. Some good callbacks.
Ziggy.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Tess and George's romance in this thing?
Every time I watch it, it's more cringe. And I also think this was like a thing at that time too. Like people would work in some sort of like romantic like forbidden subplot that was like actually so unhinged. And if it happened to you in real life, you'd be like, I'm walking into the Hudson. Um, I just, well, first of all, it happened so quickly. I'm watching it as an adult and I'm like, you've known each other 5 minutes. Stop
Mhm.
it. Yeah, weird that she lies about her interests. I like that later she framed it as like I was trying to be a better person. And that they also set it up that like there's a chance for redemption once they're being honest with each other. But in the moment it's psychotic. And even with George, I'm like, you saw a pretty girl. Come on.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, oh, you saw a pretty girl and she just said that like a few things that you have in common and suddenly it's your
Yeah,
soulmate.
are you 15? He's just like, oh my God, I like hiking and you like hiking. Will you marry me?
Yeah.
No.
Um, I think one of the cringiest sequences is the rehearsal dinner, whatever
Oh,
situation with the slideshow. It's so hard to watch that.
yes. Well, and I love that it's like Jane, we see Jane actually be this pressure cooker the whole time. And I get it, like it's an awful position she's in, and you want to just be like, girl, get out because you shouldn't have to put yourself through this. Like the dinner they have at her family home, I'm like, oh, you're gonna be around this forever. That's what you're signing up for. You can't remove yourself. It's not that kind of thing. But the fact that she unloads in that way and that Judy Greer is the voice of reason and is like, no, that wasn't the way to do it. You went too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, if I say it's too much, then it's too much. I think the biggest flaw in this movie, if I have to choose one, is Tess is like insane. And I don't think, even when she's like fessing up, like my life's a mess too, and I was like trying to like grasp onto this great thing that fell into my lap or whatever. I'm like, this isn't like a real apology for all the stuff that you've put your sister through.
And realistically, like, she's not changing.
Exactly.
She's just
Yeah,
self-aware, which might make it
exactly.
worse.
Exactly. Yeah, like in the final scene, she's like, "Oh, here's the truth about me." But again, it's like, yeah, you're still the selfish person that is probably taking advantage of your sister still, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I don't think that she did everything Jane did for Jane's wedding. I think someone else
Exactly.
did. Probably Judy Greer, an angel. Um,
Who
but
should have been maid of honor
justice for Judy Greer, as always.
always. Um, so the other thing that I think we both love about this movie slash is what people think of with this movie are some of the iconic scenes and lines. We got to start with Benny and the Jets. Like,
Benny and the Jet. A song I had never heard before, of course.
I don't think I had heard it either because Elton John was not something that was like playing in my home growing up. Like I knew Rocket Man and like whatever. Like I didn't know like
Lion King soundtrack was pretty
yeah,
big for us.
exactly. But the way that I know every word to this, well, crucially don't actually know the
Yeah.
lyrics, but I can make the sounds that they are making. But I just like I don't know, I'm like it's such a romantic scene also because it starts like they're pissed off at each other because she's like found out his truth and like that he's been lying and that he actually isn't a romantic and like the stuff that she's been clinging on to and clipping every single weekend is like kind of a lie. And then, she's like referencing some of these weddings that caught her eye, and there's the Keller wedding that she talks about, and he's like, I don't even remember what you're talking about. And then they have this whole moment where they get drunk and they're dancing on the bar, they're singing the song, and then when she comes off the bar and he grabs her, he says, I cried like a baby at the Keller wedding. And then boom, they're making out. And I like it makes me so happy
It's
every time.
just like the biggest green flag is honesty and vulnerability, and he nails both in the moment, and also he looks like that.
Yeah. Like no notes, literally.
And I like that it's not some big secret. That's part of his armor. He's like, I'm not gonna be vulnerable. I'm not gonna get sucked into this wedding thing because I have built this wall. And it takes that and getting also comfortable with her letting loose for him to do that. Like it's
Yeah,
also him getting comfortable at the same time that she's getting comfortable.
exactly. The other one I love going back to Tess is when Tess cuts up the wedding dress and she's doing her fitting, and it's the one thing that Jane, well, maybe one of two
She should
things
have
that Jane wanted.
called. Why didn't you just call or text her on your little flip phone
Because
and just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this. Is that cool?" Yeah.
because why would Tess ever ask or think about anyone else's feelings? She would never.
But they're
But
like
it
close-ish sister.
well, neither of us have sisters, so we don't actually know the dynamics. So, but it culminates in Jane blowing up at her at the wedding dress venue, and the most iconic line, which is, "Today you're just a bitch who broke my heart and cut up my mother's wedding dress."
That's a good transition into just Aline Brosh McKenna and how awesome she is as a writer, who she has now parodied this herself when she did gratuitous karaoke moment in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which I remember watching at the time. I was like, oh my God, they're doing 27 dresses, not putting together at the time that it was her movie.
Movie, yeah. Did you know that she wrote We Bought a Zoo? Because I did not know that until
I think
looking at
I
her Wikipedia
did because
today.
I watched it pretty late. Like I only watched it a couple years ago.
Okay.
Um,
I don't think I've ever seen it, but I
oh,
just
it's
know it from our group
solid.
chat. Shout out to Bates.
I want to put that, insert that video here, but I won't.
Maybe it'll go on our social feed. He's not on Instagram. She also wrote The Devil Wears Prada, which one of my absolute favorite movies. Stage play, not as good, crucially, as we know.
Oh my God. I
But
forgot. I forgot I was about to be like, oh my God, you saw it too?
background is that we saw that in London on the West End
Together.
this past summer, and that's all our facial expressions will say what we have to say. But The Devil Wears Prada 2 is forthcoming. I don't, is she a part of it? From a screenplay by Aileen Brosh McKenna. So I guess she is. Okay.
Okay, so maybe it'll be actually good.
Maybe it'll be good. And then of course we love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, so that's an evergreen recommendation from us.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. In conclusion, rewatch this movie. It really holds up. Buy it on DVD if you are so inclined.
If you own a DVD player, which I also recommend.
Support journalism. Read the New York Journal or whatever newspaper or click on articles online. Don't just share screenshots of Instagram headlines. And pick nice bridesmaids outfits for your friends, I guess. People don't, I've never seen anything anywhere
Oh,
close to these.
yeah. I did want to talk about that because that feels like the most unrealistic part. I'm like, I don't know anyone that's had a theme wedding and that would like make their friends invest. And if anything, I feel like that's aged the worst because people now are hyper conscious of like you can shorten it and wear it again.
Yeah.
But like actually with things that you would want to do that for. So
Yeah.
I don't think
I
I've
feel like
worn a wedding or a bridesmaid dress that I was like, I absolutely hate this.
I
I
think that
feel
might have been the thing of the time was like people doing theme weddings, and now it's much more destination weddings, or again, like at least in our
true.
community and like social circles, it's been that. But yeah, theme.
I did love that she made them all wear the dresses because I'm like, that is the best revenge, is to be
Okay,
like,
but I didn't spot the scuba one at the end. I need to check it again. Or maybe she was, no, she was wearing a different dress. She was just underwater. I guess I expected
but
her to
they
be
had
wearing like
like the
flippers.
sparkly thing and stuff.
Okay. I
I
just
was
didn't, I
also
was like,
looking for the LA wedding, which I was like, I don't know about that, but I was like, where's that mini dress up there?
there's a lot of olive green slander that I didn't care for.
Okay, I was when he was like, it looks like vomit. I was like, I actually really like that
I was
dress.
like, you look like vomit, James Marsden. A
Not
lot of the fashion in the rest of the movie, though, I would just be watching and look and be like, and I would just like shout out what she was wearing. I was like, peplum top, like
yeah.
double skinny necklaces.
I
Like,
do have to say, I like the outfit when she does her little slideshow moment, the black dress, and she clips her hair right here. And I literally started doing that after watching this movie. And
that
it's
was the one
great.
where I shouted out double thin chain because the like
Oh yeah.
layered
Yeah.
identical chains was a thing. There was one, oh, when she meets Tess in the hardware store, I was like, what's going on? Like
Yeah.
what season in it? What climate? What country?
The
Like what is
summer.
appropriate
It's
here?
the summer in New York.
Also, a few weekday weddings or wedding events. What are we doing?
I don't think time was really like thought about, other than we only knew 3 weeks. I want a sequel called 28 Dresses.
Is her wedding dress is the 28th one, right?
Okay, 29 Dresses.
Well, no, it should be a sequel. No, I agree with that. A franchise of the number, and it's just like just anthology, just like a
And then we
different
follow Judy
woman.
Greer's character.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder what number she's at. She doesn't strike me as someone who would have been in 27 weddings.
No, hers
Sh-
will be like
She's picking
body
and
count.
choosing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her-
But we don't
Hers
need
is
to put we don't need to put body count in the title. But
hers is dresses she has removed. She talks
correct.
about wanting that specifically
Oh,
early on.
correct. Okay, Aileen, come on. We're here. We'll co-write it with you.
Yeah. You're in the sequel business now. We need a cool, like something good to wrap up.
Yeah. Get over here.
Well, I'm Kevin. Shouldn't I say that? Oh, okay. No, I love it.